On to week number 2. It is a big week in Oxnard, California, as the Cowboys continue training camp 2025 and the West Coast swing continues. They take on the Los Angeles Rams this week at SoFi Stadium. Alongside Nicole Hutchison, I'm Kaiir Youmans. Welcome back to Inside Cowboys Training Camp presented by Ford, and it is a big week ahead for the Cowboys. It's been a big week for these corners because there's a lot of injuries starting to stack up at the cornerback position. I want to talk a little bit about your outlook at that position. What worries you and what encourages you overall at that side spot?
I'm going to start with what encourages me is that you have so many guys that have been making plays. I mean, you start with a guy, your guy, Keemon Hall, North Texas guy.
Go Mean Green.
Go Mean Green, who has the flexibility to play outside and nickel cornerback as well. Again, like you mentioned, no timetable on Trayvon Diggs or Savone Rebel, but a guy like Kaiir Elam, who I know we're going to get to, has been also 3 interceptions making plays as well. You got rookies, Zion Childress out of Kentucky, who's showing his flexibility. You have a lot of versatility in that room, so I'm excited about that.
I think we're going to learn a lot about these guys this week. Of course, with the Rams coming to town for a joint practice on Tuesday, that offense boasts guys like Devontae Adams. They've got Tutu Atwell, and don't forget about Puka Nacua,
I think they're good, right?
who wasn't even on the field last year during the joint practices. So a lot of tests coming from Sean McVay's offense. You mentioned Kaiir Elam, though. He's been one of the stories of training camp so far. Traded from Buffalo this offseason to the Dallas Cowboys, and he has stepped up in a big way. What's his mindset going into his first season in Dallas?
Just be a consistent dog. Somebody who my teammates can say and my coaches can say, like, you know, this kid got an opportunity and just continue to take it and run with it. Somebody they can rely on to just go out there and make plays and really just lay it out on the line for the team. I say that I hang my hat with that. Obviously, I'm gonna aim for the stars and want to be top notch of the top notch, but you know, just a guy that's gonna come to work every day and just be a consistent dog. That's it for me.
I love the mindset there from Kaiir Elam. For the most part, he has the right mentality. He just hasn't been able to put it together until he got to Dallas, and practice after practice, he continues to show out.
Yeah, I mean, and you listen to that presser from him. He sounds so even-keeled, but he's the complete opposite on the field. You talk about a guy who came from a scheme that didn't necessarily fit his skill set, a zone-heavy scheme, but now also thriving now in this man scheme out here under Eberflus. But you talk about someone who has the athleticism, plays aggressive, like I've already mentioned, 3 interceptions through training camp so far. I mean, he has a lot of upside, and sometimes you need that new environment to kind of help build that confidence, and that's certainly what we're getting out of Kaiir.
Yeah, former high draft pick, first-round pick, somebody that has that ceiling, that hasn't reached the ceiling yet, but we'll see what he's got moving into the latter parts of training camp and especially the preseason. He may not play a lot in the preseason at this point with what he's done in practice. When we come back, Isaiah Stanback joins the show. We're going to talk through some of the people you should keep your eye on as a busy week of practice unfolds here in Oxnard.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Inside Cowboys Training Camp, driven by Ford. Alongside Nicole Hutchison, I'm Kaiir Youmans with our resident Super Bowl champion, Isaiah Stanback, on the show for the first time. And it is the first time we'll see this Cowboys team go up against another opponent this week. The joint practice on Tuesday, and then, of course, the preseason game number 1 on Saturday. What's the position group you have your eyes on going into this big week of practice?
I'm going to be looking at the offensive line, mainly because of the fact that there's been so much investment into this offensive line this offseason. There's been an emphasis on not only getting more talent there, but obviously bringing in Clayton Adams from Arizona. There's been a big point of wanting to get the ground game going. So I have those guys on my radar, especially with the injuries at the left tackle position.
And head coach Brian Schottenheimer talking about the fact that he wants to see these young guys take a step in the right direction. But who specifically, 3 players that you have your eyes on?
Let's go offensively. I'm going to be looking at Jaden Blue. I think he's done a great job of toting the rock in camp. Great vision, not even just relying on his speed. Shamar James is going to be another person I'm looking for on the defensive side at linebacker position. And then I'm going to go ahead and take it out to Donovan Ezeraku. I want to see him get nasty, get busy from the defensive end position. There's a lot of competition in that room, but I think he's been showing up in a major way in camp. Let's see it against other competition.
Okay, so you took the easy route. You took 3 rookies to
Yes,
watch
I did.
in terms of practice in the preseason. Any veterans that are on high alert going into preseason game number 1?
Into preseason, I'm not sure if these guys are going to be on the field. I want to see Terrence Steele, though, in practice for sure. I want to see him go against that front 7 from the Rams. I think that's going to be very important to know exactly where you stand up front. Can you run the ball? Can you pass protect effectively? Because so much is relying on those guys up front.
And remember, they signed a couple of tackles throughout last week to try and piece things together. Could be on the left side, but Brian Schottenheimer said Lyle Collins is comfortable on the right side. So maybe a little competition there for Terrence Steele. You can catch Isaiah Stanback all week long on the Cowboys Now app, and then, of course, on the preseason broadcast as well. He'll be alongside Bill Jones in the booth this upcoming Saturday from SoFi. When we come back on Inside Cowboys training camp, let's take a look ahead at that joint practice, exactly what Nicole has her eyes on going into more week of action here in Oxnard, California.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Wrapping things up here on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, driven by Ford, alongside Nicole Hutchison. I'm Kaiir Youmans. Busy week ahead. We've talked about it over and over again. You're going to learn a lot about this Dallas Cowboys football team in 2025 just from Tuesday's practice, and then, of course, the preseason game number 1 at SoFi on Saturday. Nicole, what are some of the things that you have to see from this team this week?
Well, I'm going to start with physicality. I mean, we've seen this different scuffles that we've had out here between the two teams, but between the team themselves. But I mean, you talk about a Rams team that's going to come in here with some feistiness as well, ready to go up against another team as well. So I'm excited to see the physicality, but it's discipline that I need to see as well. Just like Brian Schottenheimer had mentioned, I mean, this was one of the most penalized teams in 2024 last year. So definitely want to see discipline, but I also want to see that physicality. A little good mix.
A little mixture of both. And Brian Schottenheimer talked about he expects this to be a fast practice and a physical practice at that, because even though you're supposed to go 80%, it's more likely going to look about 100% because people are excited to get out there. You'll thud up, as they call it, in training camp practices, but it's not going to be going to the ground. At least it's not supposed to. But that's part of this whole scenario. You have to keep that discipline, avoid the fights moving forward. Now, which offensive position or defensive position, we can go both sides of the football here, is going to be tested the most by the Rams and their strengths coming into the fold?
I'm going to probably go running backs.
Okay.
Also receivers. But I'm starting with running backs because so far they've displayed good vision. That's something that Shotty mentioned, that every single one of those guys have shown. They've shown the ability to speed ability. They've shown the receiver-esque qualities as well, able to pick up on pass pro. But you're going up against a Rams team that is also very good as well on the defensive line. They've got quality linebackers as well. So I'm looking to see how this running back room performs.
Yeah, both of these teams struggled to stop the run last year, but some of the talent that the Rams had on the defensive side was not available for much of the season. And then get some guys into the fold like Apuna Ford. Of course, Jared Verse was the defensive rookie of the year on the NFC side of things. So, of course, we know what Sean McVay is going to do from an offensive standpoint. That defense has something to say about it as well. But again, joint practice on Tuesday. We're going to break it down for you all day long on DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Now app. Plus, we'll be back here on Inside Cowboys Training Camp for you as well. Full coverage along the way. Multiple training camp lives as well. For Nicole Hutchison, for Isaiah Stanback, who will be on the call for the preseason game number 1 this weekend, CBS 11. It is a 4 p.m., 6 p.m. Central start time in Central Texas and through Texas as well. I'm Kaiir Elam saying so long from Inside Cowboys Training Camp. We will see you tomorrow.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.